From Virginia, Ms. McClellan for her 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Griffith and Ranking Member DeGette, for holding this very timely hearing. For many Americans, approaching the pharmacy counter today feels like falling into a financial sinkhole. Within the past year, approximately 1 in 5 adults opted not to fill their prescriptions because they were just too expensive. In Virginia, that burden is even heavier, with 1 in 4 adults skipping essential medicines. Seniors, parents, and individuals with chronic illnesses or disabilities have to make impossible choices between paying for household necessities and the medications that grow more expensive with every refill. Women in particular shoulder a heavier burden for prescription drugs. In 2024, women spent nearly 30% more out of pocket on prescription drugs than men. Whether it's recurring costs for birth control, menopause treatments, or medications for conditions like endometriosis and postpartum depression, women pay a prescription pink tax simply to maintain our health. At the same time, rather than working to reduce the drug prices women and families are facing, congressional Republicans have driven up healthcare costs and undermined efforts to lower prescription drug spending. The Big Ugly Law included provisions to weaken Medicare's ability to negotiate the price of essential drugs like Keytruda, which is often used to treat cervical cancer, endometrial, and breast cancers. According to the Congressional Budget Office, this change leaves pharmaceutical companies with almost $9 billion in additional revenue over the next decade. Congressional Republicans have put profits ahead of the health and financial security of women and families. Meanwhile, Congressional Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act, which empowered Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices, has already saved taxpayers and seniors on Medicare billions. Democrats will continue to fight to advance policies that actually lower prescription drug prices to bring relief to Americans' prescription costs and pocketbooks. Ms. Sachs, following the Congressional Republicans' weakening of Medicare drug price negotiation program, which expanded the program's orphan drug exemption and delayed the selection of blockbuster drugs like Keytruda, what avenues exist to strengthen the program and continue to bring savings to the American people?
There are already bills introduced in this committee that would do things like extend the benefits of the drug price negotiation program to the commercial market, extend the inflation rebates from the IRA to the commercial market, and there's a number of proposals that would do things like consider the selection of drugs. So as you noted, right, whether some of these products are orphan drugs and should truly be exempted, as Keytruda made $31.7 billion last year alone, whether that's the type of drug that drafters really had in mind when trying to expand this orphan drug exemption. There's a whole range of ways the program could be expanded to more patients or strengthened even within the Medicare program.
And Ms. Sachs, your testimony discussed incorporating international reference pricing into the Medicare drug price negotiation program. Can you expand on how this approach would work alongside the existing negotiating framework and the potential benefits and challenges?
So international reference pricing seems to have bipartisan interest. It was included in H.R. 3, which was a previous drug price negotiation bill, and then it's obviously a topic of interest for the presidential administration as well. There's a lot of ways to think about including international reference pricing elements within negotiation if that's desired. So for example, it could be one of the factors that Congress instructs CMS to consider as part of the negotiation. It could be a tool to think about selecting drugs in the first place. Where's the price disparity the largest? It could feature into the setting of the some of the initial offers. What is the ceiling as defined under the law? So there's no one way to do it and to incorporate it, but lots of choices.
Okay, and Ms. Riley, in less than a minute, what actions can pharmaceutical companies take to ensure critical medications, including those for birth control and menopause, remain affordable for women and families?
Thank you for the question. You're right, our companies, many of whom are in the women's health space and pride themselves on ensuring that we have access to women, whether it's looking for contraceptives, IVF care, postmenopause, and the new menopause drugs that have come to market. You know, our companies operate in a system where we do face competition, and that's a good thing because it does help to drive down costs in the system and make those medicines more affordable. As you know, in the Affordable Care Act, contraception is available for patients at zero cost, which I think has expanded access in that space. And we would love to work with you to ensure that all women's healthcare products are available and affordable for patients.
Thank you. I look forward to that, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back now.